Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of I Track. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at a company that claims they can sing you to space in a hot air balloon. And in another story, there's a parrot off the coast of the Bahamas that appears to know how to deep sea dive. So we'll be taking a look at that along with a lot of other clips. But never forget, don't believe everything that you see. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, hit that subscribe button, and smash the hype button for good measure. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
For $125,000, you can go to space on this balloon. And that might be the cheapest way to go to space because Virgin Galactic would cost $450,000. And that is only a 10-minute ride into space. Space travel is coming in fast. And this company is selling seats on this giant balloon that drifts up into space. And they will actually start taking people up next year. It's a 6-hour ride, so 2 hours going up, 2 hours up in space, and 2 hours coming back down. And you take off and land in the ocean. Inside the balloon, you will have a bathroom and a bar. Instead of a massive blast-off, this balloon rises at about 12 miles per hour. And inside they have room for 8 people and 1 pilot. The balloon will go up 100,000 feet. Compare that to when you fly in an airplane, you're usually cruising at around 35,000 feet. I meet this guy who already reserved his seat on a balloon.
I could never afford, a ticket on SpaceX or Richard Branson's space trip. Rich people to just go up and burn a hole in the ozone for an 11-minute experience.
I also meet Jane, who is the founder and co-CEO of Space Perspective.
We don't have critics that tell us that it's not going to happen because we're making space accessible in ways never previously imagined.
The balloon is like the size of a football field. It's massive. So this company is considered the only carbon neutral space travel company. And once you're up in space, you'll even have Wi-Fi. But I'm sorry, I did the math and it costs about $350 a minute to be in this balloon. So you better not be on your phone.
Hey, it sounds good, but I think I'm still gonna pass. But let me know if that's something that you be into.
Parrot successfully scuba dived in the Bahamas, but his owners reveal that that's not even close to the strangest thing he's ever done. A parrot named Bebe, who is owned by an adventurous couple that likes to travel and be outdoors, has gained thousands of followers on Instagram after a video of him independently operating a custom-built scuba diving tank in the Bahamas swimming alongside his owners has gone viral, but his owners claim that this is far from the most remarkable thing that Bebe has done in the past, as he says that Bebe has an unusually outdoorsy personality much like the owners and regularly accompanies them on long hikes, flies alongside them every year during their 500-mile week-long bike race, and that Bebe's favorite activity is to allow himself to be flown up tens of thousands of feet into the air, get secured into yet another custom-built air bubble kit that is then attached to the owner's torso so that they can skydive together, something they've done over 15 times.
Okay, this just got weirder. This isn't just a mysteriously sprouted potato chip that made it up the conveyor belt, passed inspection, passed quality control, and got fried alongside its potato. No. As it turns out, on closer inspection, these are live, pliable, juicy, fresh roots. This potato chip sprouted in the bag after being fried. It's an Easter miracle.
Hey, talk about the will to live. That potato was not taking no for an answer.
I think you realize just how scary MRI machines can be. And I'm not talking about the claustrophobia, I'm talking about the magnets.
Magnets! Oh!
In 2018, an Indian man named Rashish Maru was sucked into an MRI machine while carrying an oxygen tank. He was just there visiting a relative and was told by hospital staff that the machine was off and it was safe to go in. When him and the oxygen tank hit the machine, the tank cracked open. They believe he died from inhaling liquid oxygen that had been leaking from the tank. And in 2014, 2 hospital workers were pinned between an oxygen tank and the MRI machine and were stuck there for 4 hours. And again in 2001 when a 6-year-old boy in New York was undergoing an MRI, and an oxygen tank flew towards the machine, crushing his skull.
See this rock? This school bus? That was up there. Here, I'll try to move it. Oh wait, I can't because I'm not a f***ing alien. Yeah, both of those were up there.
Stronger anyway, so it's a win-win. I'm sorry my back is to you guys. Who would like to go next? I actually have a question. Yeah.
That's why you don't jump in puddles in Florida.
Hey, from all the clips that I've seen of Florida, it seems like the alligators just roam around freely. Let me know if that's the case. All the iTrack fam in Florida, tap in and just update me.
Today I learned there's a town where all the streets are underground and people live there to escape the heat. It's called Coober Pedy, and it sits in the middle of the Australian desert. In the summer, temperatures can reach over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Living above ground can be brutal, so they built their homes underground. These homes are called dugouts, and they're carved straight into the rock, and they stay cool all year without air conditioning. But it's not just houses. There are underground hotels, churches, bars, and even shops. From the outside, the town looks almost empty, but inside the hills, there's a whole community living beneath the surface. It all started because of opal mining. People were digging into the ground for gems and realized it was just much cooler down there, so they stayed. Today, thousands of people still live this way, and while it might look unusual, this is actually one of the smartest ways to survive the extreme heat.
Just found out the same time they told us to start drinking 8 glasses of water a day in 1945 is the same time they started adding fluoride into the water. Our government definitely wouldn't want to lower attention spans, create mood disorders, and hormonal imbalances. And they definitely would want us tapping into our higher consciousness. But what do I know? I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist.
I know what happened. I know what I saw. Don't have to lie.
We were just all told not to talk about it or we'd get detention. The headmaster called a General Assembly and he dictated to all the students that what we saw was probably just a weather balloon. We're not to talk about.
I don't really know what those 3 UFOs were. I have a high degree of confidence, however, that they were part of a research and development project which was underway in Australia. I am reasonably confident that what happened at Westall was that something certainly went wrong.
Australia is definitely the home of the gigantic spiders and apparently UFOs. Just as many UFOs as the US, as a matter of fact.
Want to see something amazing? This tree and this tree grew together. They grew together. Look at that portal. Ooh, baby.
I'm sorry, but they've just done what? Nah, I'm actually what? To make this guy immortal. Scientists have just found a way to make pandas immortal. This sounds fake, but is real. I need to read more. This is not sci-fi. This research was originally conducted in November 2025, and there's been more studies being conducted this year. Basically, what they did is take skin cells from a giant panda and rewire them back into stem cells, meaning they can actually turn those cells into any type of tissue, including embryos. And I think you know what an embryo is, yeah? So what the hell does this actually mean? How's the panda going to be immortal? So even if a panda dies, they can take the cells and use those cells to create new life from that panda. No breeding issues, no low population problems, no extinction anymore for pandas. And this could then be rolled out to all kinds of other endangered species. You're basically looking at a future where endangered animals can be brought back to life again and again and again. Oh my god. But here's the part where people are really freaking out about. And yeah, Ooh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, if they can do this with pandas, and then they start rolling it out on other endangered species, what's to say they can't do it with humans in the future? Not that we need to, I think we've got too many people on Earth, so we don't really need to breeding without breeding, you know. But yeah, you wouldn't physically live forever, but a part of your body could, and be reborn again and again and again and again. Okay, I'm done. I'll keep you posted.
You think Bitcoin's going to zero?
Yeah.
Okay, this is worrying. I think I have some Bitcoin. You're an economist. Yeah. You're saying that Bitcoin is going to zero. Why?
Ultimately, because of its reliance upon energy. When they told me about Bitcoin, I could have bought it for £1 a Bitcoin, which I would have been maybe wealthier than you if I'd done that. The reason I didn't is they explained that the way that the public ledger is kept safe is that it takes too much energy to break it. So each transaction requires 10 minutes of computer processing time globally, by the looks of it, to actually create an extra Bitcoin. And that means it's too expensive for somebody to try to break the ledger. That means it's got a huge requirement for energy use. And I believe knowing what I know from climate scientists, that at some point we're going to realize we're using far too much energy on the planet. We've got to cut the energy consumption. And the two easiest things to cut out to reduce energy consumption are cryptocurrencies and international travel.
I mean, based on his body language and a few keywords he was using, one of the main ones being I believe, he sounds like he might be a little bit salty he didn't buy Bitcoin when he should have. You know, it happens like that.
NFL is quickly getting rid of all of their viewers because now to see all the NFL games next year, you're going to have 10 different subscription services. So the NFL used to strictly be on NBC, CBS, and Fox. It was very easy to go see all the games you wanted to see every single day, but now streaming services have ruined watching sports. Now for next year, you are going to have 10 different streaming subscriptions just to watch the NFL. You're going to have Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, NFL Network, Peacock/NBC. You're going to need Fox. You're also going to need CBS, ESPN Plus, Paramount Plus, YouTube TV, and NFL Sunday Ticket if you want to see every single game next year. And not only that, now the NFL is expanding to countries far beyond the reach of the regular NFL audience. Like literally 2 teams that are in California are going to have to go all the way to Australia next season to be able to play their football game. When they only are a few hours apart and all the fans would be able to come and see their teams, now they're going all the way to Australia, which we know is owned by rugby. It seems like Roger Goodell and the NFL only care about money and do not care about how many fans they upset along the way and how many fans they're probably going to lose to all of these new changes.
You know you're in West Virginia when your neighbor has a damn microwave for a mailbox?
You can graft a tomato plant to a potato plant and get a ketchup and fries plant. Yeah.
If it's true nobody's coming to save you, it's equally true that nobody's coming to stop you. You better do something incredible before we all run out of time.
Message.
The oldest person to ever live was actually kind of a badass. Jean Clement was born in 1875 and is the current record holder for the oldest person to ever live. She was alive when Thomas Edison invented his light bulb and Bill Gates founded Microsoft. She was alive for both the invention of the telephone and the internet. She could have given Vincent van Gogh a Coca-Cola, who she actually met once when she was 14 years old. The Eiffel Tower didn't even exist until she was 14 years old, and when she was born, America only had 38 states. And you would think that the oldest person ever was super healthy, but she would actually smoke every day after meals up until she was 117 years old. She said that she had dessert pretty much after every meal and would sometimes eat 2 pounds of chocolate a week. But the most interesting and badass fact about her is that when she was 90 years old, she made a deal with a lawyer named André Francois Raffray. André agreed to pay her a monthly salary of 2,500 francs, which is about 380 euros, in exchange for the deed to her apartment after she died. Considering she was 90 years old, it sounded like a pretty good bet, but 20 years later, she moved out of the apartment and into a nursing home and still collected the salary. 30 years later, the lawyer passed away, and his family had to keep paying the monthly payments, which now totaled more than double the original value of the apartment. And finally, 32 years after the original deal was made, at 122 years old, Jean passed away due to unknown causes.
Dude just jumped that on his bike.
Do not try this yourself. This pizza isn't cooked in an oven. It's cooked on the side of an active volcano. On Guatemala's Pacaya volcano, this chef uses Earth's natural geothermal heat to bake pizza. No gas, no electricity, no flames. And it's not cooked over flowing lava. He places metal trays into naturally heated pockets in the volcanic rock, where temperatures stay hot and steady enough to cook the dough evenly. When conditions are right, the pizza is done in minutes. Pacaya's slow, predictable lava flow makes this possible, but it's still one of the most dangerous kitchens on Earth.
6-point stars and you got 5-point stars, right? Yeah. The 5-point star, man, in witchcraft is Satan's actual head. It's the pentagram. Yeah. The 6-point star, whether you know it or not, is a Baphomet signal too. Cause look, when a 6-point star connects together,
666.
That And then also it's 2 pyramids.
This doctor just issued a warning to all of humanity because insects are apparently going silent all across the planet and people are actually agreeing. Dude, this is actually terrifying. This physician, Dr. Varon, just came out and said that beetles, butterflies, bees, and moths are vanishing at rates that we have never seen before. They're saying that the current extinction rates that we are dealing with right now are 8 times faster than mammals, birds, and reptiles all combined. By the way, the reason why this is insane right now is they found that insects are disappearing by 2.5% every single year, and at this rate, scientists are saying that they could be completely gone within a century. And what's craziest about this right now is that people are actually in agreement that we hardly even see just butterflies anymore. 75% of the world's food crops depend on insects to pollinate them. That means that basically every single thing that's healthy that you eat could just disappear from grocery stores. Now, this would obviously be an incredibly long way away in the future, but it's still the point. Dr. Varon is now officially warning that without these pollinators, our diets would lose essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, making humans more vulnerable to chronic disease. Scientists are literally comparing this to rivets on a plane. They're saying that we're popping rivet after rivet and we have no idea how close we are to a wing falling off. Okay.
A lot of people will make the claim that we're already living in that time. They say half the vegetables and fruits that we're eating today have less than half the nutrients it did 20 years ago.
Fun fact of the day. The natural tuff and basalt spires of the Cappadocia region of Turkey were formed by erosion over millions of years. They span a wide landscape of valleys and plateaus, many with houses and structures carved into them, and the tallest of them reach 40 meters high. In Turkish, they are called peri bacaları, which translates to fairy chimneys.
Forget lava. This volcano erupts ice. At Letchworth State Park in western upstate New York, freezing temperatures transform a simple 19th century fountain into a towering ice volcano, sometimes growing 20 to 50 feet tall. The cone forms as water freezes midair, building layer by layer into one of the state's most spectacular winter sights. It only appears in the coldest stretches of winter, making it a rare, short-lived natural wonder.
You know how much money Michael B. Jordan has made from his acting career? All I know is he's going to go down in history as one of the best actors of all time. So some of these are just estimates, but for the show The Wire, he made around $150,000. For Friday Night Lights, he made $500,000. For Parenthood, he made $400,000. For Chronicles, he made $300,000. For Hardball, he made $300,000. For Fruitvale Station, he made $300,000. For Creed, he made $2 million. For Fantastic Four, he made $1.5 million. For Creed 2, he made $5 million. For Creed 3, he was the director, a producer, and the star, making him around $25 million. For Black Panther, he made $4 million. For Black Panther Wakanda Forever, he made $500,000 for a quick cameo. For Without Remorse, he made $15 million. For Sinners, he made $4 million. For Just Mercy, he made $3 million. For Space Jam: A New Legacy was a quick cameo, $200,000. So in total, he's made roughly around $60 million from acting. Okay, what about after all the fees? So after manager, agent, publicist, lawyer, state and federal income tax, he's roughly made around $22 million.
Hey, it's also good to know that Michael B. Jordan is like the top 0.001% of the actors out there. You know, every single actor are definitely not getting those type of checks.
So the ocean is absolutely terrifying, and this security footage from a naval ship is going to freak you out because they're out in the middle of the ocean while this was filmed. It was taken on the USS Roosevelt and uploaded to Reddit. Now just watch the security footage. This is on the deck of the ship. A strange apparition floats across the deck of the ship. It almost looks like it's moving with the waves, which is even weirder. I zoomed in on it so hopefully you guys can see it better. But this thing is so freaky. Now a lot of people in the comments were saying that this thing looks just like No Face or a water spirit from Spirited Away. And I can definitely agree with that because that's exactly what this looks like. And it makes you wonder, is this a water spirit? I mean, this naval ship is out in the middle of nowhere in the ocean. Here's a still frame of it. It almost looks like a skeleton. Here's another still frame. Another one, and you can see it's like body behind it. What do you guys think this is? Let me know your thoughts on this one. And as always, don't forget to like and follow.
In Spring Canyon Park in Fort Collins, Colorado, a rock formation resembling a giant's foot with toes sticking out of the ground is a local landmark. What do you believe?
Since so many people have been talking about this recently, I thought it'd be a good time to make a video on the 7 trumpets and what happens when each one of them are blown. Quickly, for context, it describes in the book of Revelation how 7 angels wielding 7 trumpets will blow them in succession, and each time one is blown, something major will happen on the earth. When the first angel blows his trumpet, the word says that a mixture of fire, hail, and blood will be cast to the earth, burning up 1/3 of all trees and green grass in the world. When the second trumpet is blown, it says that a fiery mountain is cast into the sea, turning 1/3 of it into blood, destroying 1/3 of the ships, and unaliving 1/3 of the creatures that live in the water. When trump number 3 blows, a star will fall from heaven named Wormwood into 1/3 of all rivers on earth, causing 1/3 of all drinking water to become bitter. The 4th trumpet causes 1/3 of the sun, moon, and stars to be blocked out. The 5th trumpet unlocks the bottomless pit, causing locusts to come out of it and torment man for 5 months. The 6th trumpet will release the 4 angels bound under the Euphrates River. They'll come out and unalive 1/3 of all humans on earth. And finally, during the 7th and last trumpet, the kingdom of heaven will be declared on the earth.
Isn't it crazy that people still think it's a conspiracy theory to think that the government actually hides inventions that could help mankind, but don't even know that the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 was signed by President Truman to stop any inventions and have them be confiscated if they threaten national security or economic stability?
Have you ever heard of the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951? It is a United States federal law designed to prevent disclosure of new inventions and technologies that, in the opinion of selected federal agencies, present an alleged threat to the economic stability or national security of the United States. Let's talk about it. Put it to you like this. If you invent something that's super freaking cool and somebody decides it's a threat to the United States, whether that's financially or militarily, they'll just take it from you. This is part of the list. This is all the categories of stuff that they can do it. This is just part of the list. I think it's about time we repeal this. What do y'all think? Let's talk hypotheticals. Let's say I design a device that would allow your car to get 250 miles to the gallon. That would be a financial threat to the United States and a national security threat because it would crash oil. Oil markets, oil prices, oil companies, it would all crash. So they would take that, and they already have. Who knows what else they're hiding?
You think this all sounds like scattered coincidences? Here's the part where it stops being theory. Because in the United States, there's a legal mechanism that allows the government to quietly bury any invention it deems a threat to national security. It's called the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951. And it's not some dusty Cold War relic. It still absorbs them.
I want you to look at this diagram. It's from a patent application, and try to figure out what the invention was. Look at it closely because there's clearly a lot going on here. This is a patent from 1927 for a fake talking skeleton for police to use in interrogations to try to scare criminals into confessing. The patent describes its use in extreme detail. The criminal would come into a totally dark interrogation room. A curtain would rise up, revealing the scary skeleton. It would have red light bulbs in its eyes and a camera somewhere in its skull to record the confession. Then the detective would talk into a microphone and his evil booming voice would come out, and the terror of this apparition demanding they confess their crimes would cause them to tell the truth. The inventor was a woman named Helen Adelaide Shelby. Alice Obscura looked her up. She was a real estate agent, and this is her only patent. She had the one great idea. And in case it wasn't clear, the premise is entirely that the criminals would believe that the police had the power to summon a ghost skeleton to interrogate them on their behalf. What I like most about this is that by going through the lengthy and expensive patent application process, it proves that she didn't just have the idea. She was so worried that somebody else was going to come up with this and get it to market first that she had to lock it down.
Now that was a pretty good idea. I don't think anybody else is going to come up with an idea like that, so I think she's good. But now we understand the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951, but I'm sitting here mind-boggled on how the plastiline guy is able to keep winning like this, because it doesn't appear he's been stopped yet.
Plastiline! 2023 Scat Pack right here. It's on E.
Let me get that. Hold on, he's trying to get it. Let him get it.
No fuel. You guys saw it. There's no fuel in the car. Here we go. History in the making, baby.
Plastiline.
Plastiline. AKA Junie.
Give it up again.
This is crowd control. Back up. All right, Tommy. Hit it. Hit it.
Case in point, we watched him feel a Rolls Royce, he just filled a Scat Pack, and it doesn't seem to be any kind of recourse. And you know what, I'm happy for the guy, I hope he continues to win, but it's just so strange to see it go down, knowing what we know about the history of these type of inventions.
I'm sorry, straight out of where?
With Donald Trump, NASA's back. Tomorrow, this mission's going off, the 127th mission to the space station. Mike and Sonia are the 2 of the 4 American astronauts that are on that flight. They're right out of central casting. But what happened, Sean? You talked about the moon, and I want to get to that.
The conspiracy theorists are like 40-0, people. 40-0. Yet you still laugh at us for questioning everything. You laugh at us when we point out the very facts of the inconsistency and all the plot holes and everything else. You laugh at us when we give you information that's verifiable, and you say that's not true because they told me so. Woe is me, you followers and lemmings, as you fall off of a cliff of deception instead of accepting the truth of what is life. Christ is the truth. The earth is a sealed realm. You cannot escape. Yet you are out here gobbling up Central Casting and all their associates as though it's the godly divine truth. Our Messiah rose from the death and saved us all at this very time of year. And on April Fools, you guys were played once again. Wake up, people.
Who's this guy? So this monster is a
Casper Mountain crawler. There's a whole class of cryptids called crawlers, and they're often mistaken with skinwalkers, but crawlers are something different. Now, why is our crawler standing up? This is the size that they would be. Normally, they crawl around on all fours. Our museum is only so big, so some things that are normally on all fours might be shown standing when we make the model for them. These guys, I think, are terrifying. There's a lot of cool crawler pictures all over the internet.
Terrifying is an understatement. He looks straight out of a Freddy Krueger movie or something like that.
Does anyone else find this a little weird or strange that all of the astronauts that apparently been to the moon are all Freemasons? Yeah, all of them. And we know exactly what lodge they go to, what rank they are. Like, did you guys know about this? Here we have James repping Tejon Lodge 104 out of Colorado Springs. Here we have Edgar, his rank, repping number 33. Lodge number 29 out of Artesia, New Mexico. Here we have Buzz Aldrin, rank, lodge number 144 out of New Jersey. Here we have our buddy Leroy, repping lodge number 82 out of Colorado. Also, were you guys aware that the moon rock they gave the Dutch Prime Minister in 1969 turned out to be fake? Petrified wood? It's time to wake up, guys. And of course, all this was for entertainment purposes only. Of course, none of this is real, and I'm just here to make you laugh.
Imagine being on your trail run and then seeing this. Yeah.
So you don't think you're an electrical being? Watch this. I have a light bulb, I have biocharger. Light bulb is gonna go right next to the biocharger. As you can see, nothing's happening. However, once I hold the light bulb, now it's conducting. See, we are the most amazing computer in the world, but if that computer doesn't have power, nothing's really gonna work. And that's why voltage is the #1 thing that we're gonna look at for your health.
Careful with the stone. Not everyone is ready to see what it shows you. This is black obsidian, a scrying stone. Not for decoration, not for aesthetics, for truth. Formed from volcanic glass born of the fire and rapid transformation, obsidian has been used for centuries as a mirror to the unseen. But here's the thing. It doesn't just show you visions, it shows you you. When you sit with it, when you soften, when you gaze and allow your mind to quiet, it begins to reveal what has been hidden beneath the surface. Not always comfortable, not always expected, but always honest. This is a tool for deep shadow work, intuitive activation, receiving messages beyond the logical mind. Some people see images, some feel energy, some just know things they didn't before. Because obsidian doesn't create illusion, it cuts through it. So if you've been feeling the pull to go deeper, to understand yourself on a level that can't be explained, this might be the mirror you've been avoiding, or the one you've been ready for all along. I linked this one below because the energy on it is strong. Just be intentional when you work with it. Light and love, beautiful souls. Namaste.
There's a guy in Iowa got curious, why do the birds start chirping an hour before sunrise? He found out the chirping of the birds is a frequency that helps open up the plant cell stomata on the bottom of the leaf, and it lets the plant start breathing in the morning. It helps it's the alarm clock, it wakes the plant up. He found out that frequency is found in classical music quite a bit. So he started playing classical music to his cornfields. His neighbors thought, he's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal, until his corn grew 15 feet tall. And he said, what channel was that you're playing? When he played the music to his squash plants, they produced 5 squash per leaf instead of 1. He played it to his black walnut tree and it grew twice as fast as normal, called Sonic Bloom. A combination of vitamins for the plant and special frequencies to open up the stomata. Dr. Mori in Tokyo started raising a tomato plant under pressurized carbon dioxide, so I've heard, and filtered sunlight. He blocked out the UV light. His tomato plant grew a little faster than normal and it kept growing and growing and growing. And they said, wow, this thing's getting bigger. After 2 years, it had produced 900 tomatoes and was 16 feet tall. They moved it to a shopping center, built scaffolding to hold up the branches, and it kept growing and growing. They said they took it to Expo Tomato 85 and said this plant might produce 10,000 tomatoes.
I'm about to show you the most well-preserved human ever found. It's not pretty. Can you handle it? 3, 2, 1. This woman died over 2,000 years ago in ancient China. But when they found her, her joints were still flexible. Her organs were intact. There were even traces of type A blood in her veins. A mummy is really any body where the soft tissue, like the skin, is preserved. And Egyptians were great at doing this intentionally. Priests removed organs shortly after death, leaving only the heart. And then they coated the body inside and out with a special kind of salt. After 40 days, they wrapped the body tight with hundreds of yards of linen, and they buried them in these spacious tombs. The most important thing was drying out the body. But this mummy was not like that at all. Her tomb was surrounded by charcoal and clay, creating this super airtight structure. Inside 4 coffins, 12 meters underground, they found her body soaking in over 80 liters of mysterious acidic liquid, meaning that she was basically a pickled human. We still don't know if that was on purpose, but staying wet and vacuum sealed froze her in time in ways we've never seen before, so we can learn so much more. For more optimistic science and tech stories, follow along.
I think I lean more towards cremation, but the more information that comes out about the whole cryogenics and being frozen just to be woke back up again, it's starting to look a bit more appealing now.
Amazon now has 1 million robots inside of its factories around the world, and a lot of other factory owners are stating that they are going to follow suit to this model because it's eliminating human error. It's just unbelievable, the vastness, the size of these factories and how many robots are operating inside of them. And by the end of the year, they're stating that there could be completely autonomous factories. There already are in China. Completely autonomous dark factories is what they call them. And it eliminates a huge amount of the workforce. A further 16,000 corporate jobs were just let go from Amazon just at the start of this year. And they say that by 2030, it'll be completely normal for most, if not all, factories to operate completely autonomously.
Well, you guys, that's another one in the books, man. There's a whole lot to marinate on, and as usual, I do appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching, and learning with me. If you haven't already, let's go ahead and run it up 5,000 likes, hit that hype button for me, and subscribe if you're not a part of the iTrack fan, man, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.